What matters is that I'm checking myself daily, that if I need to stop and learn a lesson, then I learn that lesson and I implement whatever needs to be implemented in my life to avoid making that choice or mistake again.
Yes.
Right? And just truly growing and trying to authentically be a good person in the world.
Yes. We've done counseling. We're in counseling. We read, the Bible, we read devotions, we read motivations, we watch the things that are supposed to help us do these things. But I truly believe in the long run, it is such a mindset. It's you doing what you've done, which is decided to, I'm going to be who I am, and this is who I've been, but you've quit worrying so much about that.
Welcome to Fierce Frequency, the podcast where your voice, your power, and your story take center stage. I'm your host, Angela Cherry. In each episode, we dive into bold conversations, fresh perspectives, and the energy that fuels change. Tune in, turn up, and let's get fierce together. Welcome to Fierce Frequency, and today we have with us special guest Tiffany Wondrow. A little bit about Tiffany is she's the president and owner of CNR Services, a Nashville-based, family-owned, multi-million-dollar commercial painting company. She has led the company full-time since 2008, transitioning from a career in commercial real estate where she served as a property and facilities manager for firms like Highwoods Properties, Jones Lang LaSalle, and CBRE. Her expertise was focusing on transforming owner-occupied buildings into multi-tenant spaces while overseeing construction, lease negotiations, and contract administration. Tiffany earned a BS in business management from the University of Phoenix. She remains active in Nashville's networking and professional communities and currently serves as president of NAWIC Nashville, the world's largest NAWIC chapter with 180 members. That's impressive. CNR has been recognized by the Nashville Business Journal as woman-owned, veteran-owned, and small business of the year. Tiffany herself was named Woman of Influence in 2023. Congratulations on that, Tiff. Personal note, Tiffany has been inseparable from her soulmate and business partner, Jason Wondrow, for over 24 years. She is a proud mother to Hayden and Riley. Originally from St. Rose, Louisiana, she is a U.S. Marine, which is a career influence, and she credits for her leadership. She attributes her entrepreneurial spirit to her parents. In her downtime, she enjoys live music, family travel, in their RV with Lucy. Who's Lucy?
Lucy's actually the name of the RV.
What? I love that.
Thank you. It's a lacrosse, so she's Lucy the lacrosse.
That's fantastic. So, Tiffany's philosophy, where you come from, doesn't define where you'll end up. I think
True.
we both have lived that life.
That's exactly right. With all of our conversations, that's one thing I know that we have in common is just like this cup says right here, right? You have to go through it to get to it. And so we've had to go through a lot of it, haven't we?
We have. And that brings me to something I want to share with our listeners, that Tiffany and I have known each other for many years at this point, and she was one that encouraged me a few years back to start sharing my story, the journey, the things, the adversity that I had gone through, and come out on the other side. And when I started doing that, the trajectory of my life changed even more. And so, Tiffany, can you kind of tell our listeners and viewers, what was your reasoning behind advising me to start sharing my story?
Honestly, the women that I have spoke to, that I've shared my story with, I can see that they are, I'm tooting my own horn here.
Please do.
But I believe that they have seen what I've been through as an inspiration. And they also go, okay, if she's been through that and this is where she's at right now, maybe I need to get through the mud and the muck. And uh, they're relatable. They understand what I've been through. They've been through it. You've been through a lot of it. And so I think that whenever we start talking about our stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, that it opens doors and opportunities for people to be able to share what they're going through and to maybe realize that they're not on an island by themselves, that there's others that have been through it. And I also know that that's part of our healing. Most of us have been through some kind of trauma. Um, as a veteran, I'm a part of a group called Reboot where they do trauma recovery, through my own PTSD, through my own abuse that I've was subjected to. The more I talk about it, I feel the better I get. So I feel it's a part of healing. And I think that the women and the men that I've told my story to, they kind of are, hey, this isn't either I'm not really going through that much compared to what she's gone through,
Right.
or wow, I'm actually going through something worse, but she can give me the right resources and maybe be there for me as I go through these things.
Absolutely. I think that that key piece of the inspirational part, like, look, things are going to be hard, right?
Yeah.
Things are going to happen.
Yes.
It's learning how to move through it, understanding that through healing, you start learning to look for what are the lessons within there and then applying those to your life. And just also understanding that it may seem like your whole world is falling apart right now, but I promise if you keep going, on the other side of whatever's happening right now is something probably even more beautiful than you ever imagined.
Absolutely. And I've been in Nashville now 30 years. May was 30 years for me. And never thought I'd be in Nashville, never thought that this would be my home. And so after the Corps, I got stationed here with my at that time husband and got into real estate. And there was a woman that I really looked up to. Her name's Linda. She's retired now. I love Linda in a lot of ways. She was the first one that really kind of called me to the mat about some things, like for instance, when I moved here, I had a very strong New Orleans accent. It comes out whenever I go home. So you can tell when I've been home because I'll come back and it's very strong. But she called me in the office one day and she's like, listen, I need you to quit killing your tenants. I'm like, I'm killing them with kindness? What are you talking about? And she goes, well, you keep asking them questions. You need to ask them something. She goes, the word is ask. I was like, uh, oh, okay. And so I got a little, kind of butthurt about it because I was like, this is my slang. This is where I'm from. Who are you to tell me how to talk? And then I was like, you know what? This woman is running one of the largest real estate companies in Nashville. It's like she must know what she's doing. Um, and then she would call me into her office on Mondays because she wanted to kind of live vicariously through me. She had a very what she called boring life, right? She was at a different stage than I was. I mean, I was, 20, she was 50. And so I would go in on Mondays and tell her like my drama because she didn't have any. And the one thing she would tell me all the time is, this is just a chapter of your life book. And I could remember some things would close and she'd go, okay, that chapter's closed, on to the next chapter. And so when I started thinking about my life like that, I mean, I used to be an actual physical book reader. It's harder for me to read books now, but I do love audiobooks. I've done all the Sarah J. Moss books, with all the powerful woman hero stuff. I love to read, but back then it was very obvious. Like, here's your life, here's the next chapter of your life, right? And so I think that perspective helped me so much. And so in one way, I really admired her because she called me to the mat. She wanted me to be a better person, a better speaker, and more importantly, a better listener. Because it really amazed me that with everything this woman had going on, she would call me in on a Monday and want to know about my weekend. And that meant so much to me. And so I feel like each of us have different chapters we're going through. And if we can help someone that's going through something hard that they may not be able to handle right now, we're there for them. That's what this is about to me.
I agree. So let me ask you this. You talked about how it made you feel you know, special and I guess a little important when she would bring you in to talk to you every week about what you had going on. Is there any way that you're implementing that within the structure you have at CNR with some of your employees?
I mean, with all of them, with my own son, as you know, Hayden works for us. Um, he just recently got a huge promotion. He's our senior estimator now. But
Please.
I mean, when I say he's literally been with us from the beginning, when we were painting condos off of West End, he was in a portable crib with a drop cloth over him, protecting him, and we were painting. And so through the years, he's gone from being out in the field, being a part of a team, learning how to paint, all of our people are Hispanic and they respect him so much because they've seen him doing the work. But it's probably every week he comes in here and it's not Tiffany, it's mom. Like, mom, how do I handle this? Mom, what do I do? Um, I really try to spend a lot of time with each person here because um, they matter to me. They're not just another number. I was in the corporate world where I was just a number. Um, Earlier today, Aaron, who is one of our newest hires, he's only been with us for 3 months. I walked into his office and was telling him about my day, and he was saying how pretty I looked. I'm like, thank you, and told him I was recording with you today. And he was literally drinking, out of the Secure Stream coffee mug. And that just even made things go full circle for me even more. Like talking about when you were at Very to where you're at now to being plastered on billboards all in New York, Times Square. He's like, "Wait, hold up. Who is she?" Like looks you up and I told him like that's what this world is about for me is making connections with people, being with them along for the ride, and, like, watching your ride has been amazing. Watching you like, I'm sitting at a Very desk right now. This is one of the best things ever given, by the way, right? And and I think about that time together, like, I didn't know that we were gonna become this close. I didn't know that I was gonna be an influence in your life. I just wanted to be there for you as you were battling some of the obstacles at that time. And, just to watch you and just the fact that we get together and even someone like myself, like a lot of the women I looked up to back in my day, as I was growing, they're retiring now. Like the women I looked up to have retired or are retiring, and now I'm that next person. So I want to be that Linda, the good or the bad, because even though she had a lot of great things, there were areas that she needed help on as a leader. Like, I mean, it was the whole she punished the whole barrel because one of the two people were bad, right? I don't believe in that. I believe in addressing the issue with the person that's breaking the rules and straightening that person out. So I say a lot of times I learned a lot from her on how to be a great boss because she wasn't always the best, but she is a good human being and she had great intentions. And I think that that's what it boils down to when you're a leader is truly what are your intentions? And when you look at yourself at the end of the day, are you proud of what you're representing? And I feel I do that with all of my people.
I agree with that 100%. And Tiffany, you definitely have been someone in my life that when I was going through adversity, you helped me walk through it. And so I'm so thankful and grateful for that. And, it's invaluable to have those people that will walk with you through those things. And,
Yes.
as you mentioned, you've seen me go through a lot, good and bad. And so
Yes.
I'm very thankful and grateful. I want to you mentioned Secure Stream coffee mug. I thought I'd bring out my little guys back here for CNR. Um,
Thank you. It's a favorite. Everyone loves that mug. I bragged, I think we have great swag because I used to get swag when I was in real estate and I had a drawer on the left. That was the stuff I did not want. And the stuff on the right was the stuff I continued to use all the time. And so when I got to this side of the business, we call it the dark side because I left, the corporate world and came to this side. But when I came over to this side of the business, I wanted to be someone that gave away swag that not everybody was giving away, which it's kinda hard sometimes, but I think that we have some of the best swag because I got crappy swag whenever I was a young person in the corporate world, and so, I hope you continue to like our swag, and we've got some fun stuff coming out.
I love it. Send it my way anytime.
You know it.
Um, Speaking of transitioning from the corporate world, I mean, what sparked the transition to go from managing properties at CBRE and the other companies to running CNR Services?
Well, for years, I watched my parents struggle as entrepreneurs, paycheck to paycheck. We were on food stamps every winter. We lived in a trailer, and my dad and mom would put up blankets on each side of the hallway, and we would live in the living room. Because even though New Orleans, Louisiana doesn't get it gets cold for us, 40 something degrees, would be freezing to us, but we would get some really cold nights, and we were very poor, and dad or mom, would have to have the oven door open, heating the room we were staying in. And to be honest, I didn't want that struggle. I wanted to be able to know, every week or every 2 weeks, I was getting that steady paycheck. And so when I got into real estate, divorced my husband, met Jason, fell in love with him. He had an entrepreneur heart, but he wasn't making the bills. And so Hayden is not mine biologically, even though he's my heart and my soul. I did not actually give birth to him. Um, but he's my boy. And so Jason was trying his best to make things work, and he became a maintenance engineer for what is now Cushman. Back in the day, it was DTZ, but he was working at Cushman as a maintenance tech, and I was in property management. And he was doing side hustles. He was trying to make things ends meet, but we couldn't make it meet because he had debt, I had debt, and he was working 3 jobs. He was working at Logan's because he's a chef by trade. His pickup line used to be he was a graduate of the CIA, which I thought was pretty badass because 'cause I'm a Marine. And then I find out it's the Culinary Institute of America,
That was
right? But I'm like, "Oh, you kill people slowly with cholesterol, no problem." So, he called me one day and he's like, babe, this property manager keeps saying he doesn't like the paint crew, and I'm gonna tell him we paint on the side and see what he says." And I'm like, "Okay." And next thing I know, I'm in college at night. I'm working full time for Highwoods. Paint, had about 1.5 million square feet of office space from Brentwood to Olive, Franklin and Brentwood. And then I'm painting a condo on the weekend. And
wow.
there's Hayden in a playpen with a drop cloth. My mom and dad came in from New Orleans. My uncle came in from Alabama, and we painted a condo in this weekend. And on that Monday, the property manager said, "Hey, great job. Here's 70 more." So we kind of walked into this company, and the struggle was real because at the time I loved my paycheck. I loved what I was doing. So that was 2001. I continued to stay in real estate until 2008, because Jason kept saying, "When you going to quit working for the man and come work for me?" And I said, "When I leave corporate America, I will never work for anyone again. I will work with people." And so it's very important to me that I take care of my customers. I take care of the people that take care of us. But I work with people. I don't work for anyone. And so he laughed, of course, and said, "Just tell me what to say, babe, whatever you need me to say." And so 2008, I had just converted the Carruthers building in Cool Springs over from owner occupied. Ford had owned that building. We converted it to multi-tenant. It was a beautiful build out. I even named a building, which is nothing fancy. It was on Carruthers. So we called it the Carruthers building, right? But it really was a sign that I was done doing that, and I needed to help Jason do this because I was working all day, raising a baby, helping him. He was traveling, he was knocking it out. When I say it was literally him and 2 Mexicans out the back of the truck because it was 2 brothers from Mexico and Jason, and they were painting nonstop. And so in 2008, right before our economy tanked, I decided to leave my full-time secure job to help do this.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So, I reached out to all my girlfriends. I reached out to all my networking queens and was like, "Hey, I'm leaving the industry. I'm gonna do this painting thing. Can you give me an opportunity?" And the emails started being blasted out. woman veteran owned painting company. And at that time in Nashville, I don't think there was anything like us at that time. Yes, there were other family owned businesses, but it was a bunch of older white dudes that had been handed the company from their dad, from their grandparent, not that they weren't working and making things happen, but um, we were creating this from nothing, literally with our credit cards and paying for everything. And so I got an email from a retired Lieutenant Colonel, Bob Wolferts. He was over at Charles Hawkins, and an amazing man. We still talk to this day. He's been retired from there now for a few years. But he said, "Hey, I got this warehouse I want you to price." Me, really being a salesperson, but not really truly understanding it, was like, I'm on my way. I go over there not knowing what I'm doing at all. I get over there and it's the Purina warehouse off of Trousdale, massive building. I'm like, can I phone a friend? I call Jason. I'm like, you need to get here now. I don't know how to use it's a roller. I don't know what I'm doing. And this man knows his stuff. I'm not going to BS anybody. Jason shows up. They hit it off. We get the job. That first sale I made within a couple of weeks was my entire year's salary.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, God, affirmation, confirmation, all of those things. I knew what I was doing was the right thing. I knew it was going to be hard, but I also knew it would be the most rewarding thing I'd ever do in my life. Other than being a mom, being a wife, that kind of stuff. But running this company has afforded me the opportunity to get in front of more people and speak about what I've been through and how I've gotten here than I ever could have managed staying in the real estate world.
Yes, and I think it's so important for others to hear your story and your voice on things because it is so valuable. Um, let's switch gears a little bit for a minute. So, CNR has earned multiple honors, including the woman-owned, veteran-owned, and Small Business of the Year. And then you won Woman of Influence 2023. Congratulations
Yes,
on all those honors.
thank
Is
you.
there one of those that means more to you personally than the other?
I mean, honestly, the woman of influence, the other ones matter to me. Being a veteran matters, being recognized. Those are all by the Nashville Business Journal. So I'm so thankful to them that they do recognize women owned, small business, veteran owned. That makes a difference because, you're listed amongst the 25. So you have to make at least the top 25. And so to be in that in Nashville is a huge deal. But in December of 22, I had a stroke. I had a heart attack at 4 a.m. in the morning that led me to having a stroke. And I was dying in my sleep. And a stray dog we had just adopted. This is no joke. This is a true story. A stray dog we had just adopted had come into our bedroom. He had never barked. He'd never been in our bedroom. I was dying in my sleep, and he was banging and barking uncontrollably on the side of my bed. Woke me up. I realized something was not right. Jason got me, like, called the ambulance. They were there like in 7 minutes. When you live in the country, they're pretty fast at 4 a.m. Um, but basically went in on Monday. I was released on Wednesday after suffering a heart attack and a stroke. I couldn't use the right side of my body. I was partially paralyzed. Had to eat right. My signature is not the same. But the reality is that that was a wake up call for me that I needed to get better mentally, physically. And I was sitting on the couch, literally practicing how to write my name again when I got the call that I had been nominated and won for the Woman of Influence.
Wow.
Yes, it meant a
Well,
lot. It really did. And the category was family owned business. So that meant a lot. So there's different categories, but for me to win in family-owned business and to be considered a woman of influence, is it was just such a great honor. And then they had a beautiful ceremony, and I'm at a table surrounded by my family, but not just my family, but a bunch of our clients who also are like family now too.
wow. What a beautiful, beautiful story. Beautiful ending to that story. Let's say
Yes,
that.
girl.
But as
Yes.
somebody that being friends with you for so long and
You were
actually
in that
what
hospital room.
Yeah, I was one of your earlier on calls and I showed up at the hospital and it's just it is truly inspirational to see where you were at that moment to where you're at now and
Thank you.
just how far you've come and how hard you work to become a healthier version and really actually speak out and educate people about strokes and heart attacks because of
Yeah,
what you went through. And so me as an outsider kind of looking in, it truly is inspirational.
thank you. It was something that I'm I'm really great at telling other people, specifically my ladies, take care of yourself, get your mammograms, get your skin checked, you know. Heart disease is a hidden disease, you know. A lot of us women are really bad about, oh, well, my arm's kind of hurting. Oh, it must be something, whatever. It could be a sign of a stroke, you know. So I think there's a lot that I was telling other people to do, but I wasn't doing myself, wasn't holding myself accountable. And I was at my heaviest weight several years ago. I had started a weight loss, but was never successful. And because it wasn't for me. I was doing it because I wanted to look good at this meeting or, you know, whatever. It wasn't about truly being healthy. And when you are literally told, I mean, the chaplain came in at the hospital and said, "Where's my miracle?" And I'm like, "Here I am," you know? And I feel that way. I feel like I was given a second chance for a reason. I feel that the opportunity, like you said, to talk to other women and men, um, it's important, you know. So whenever we have our safety meeting, we have the American Red Cross come in and we did hands only CPR. But the biggest thing that came out of that meeting was she took the blood pressure of all of my employees, which are Hispanic, and a lot of them are smaller guys that you would never think would be hypertension, and some of them, like, literally, the nurse was like, "I need him to go to the emergency room right now."
Oh, wow.
Yes. One of my guys was 200 over 180.
Wow.
And she's like, "You're about to have a stroke." I'm freaking out. And so, um, I think like you're saying, those things happen to me because now I am turning around and making sure like everyone in my family is getting their checkups. Our office is getting their checkups. And I think it's important that we keep talking about that, about heart disease, heart attacks, taking care of ourselves. I mean, September right now, we just entered Suicide Awareness Month, you know. So I've got a lot going on with that where I'm talking to people about suicide awareness. My dad killed himself. He had stage 4 cancer and he thought that was his only dignified way out. Several years ago, one of our employees, one of our estimators, Brian, took his own life. There was no signs, there was nothing. We just came to work one day and he didn't show up, and I started making phone calls and found out what had happened. And so you always just have this empty spot. Like, I didn't get to say goodbye, there was no closure, but that's why I want to lead organizations like NAWIC. NAWIC is, like, such a passion for me, and through meeting Patricia Mason, who runs Hike for Hope and suicide awareness through a nonprofit, even though she's an employee of a massive general construction company, her passion is about educating people on suicide, and um, I'm sure you've probably heard the statistics. 22 veterans kill themselves every day. 13 construction workers take their life every day.
Mm.
Like, they feel no way out. So, if there's anything that I can do that I can just lead people to the right direction or tell my story and maybe help them, that's what I wanna do.
Absolutely. Prioritizing both mental and physical health has been game changer in my life. Um,
Yes.
the last several months, just really making myself put myself first, right? Making sure I'm getting the rest I need, making sure
Yeah.
I'm I'm not having too many cocktails or I'm eating healthier. I'm exercising. I have routines that I do each day that help with that mental clarity from meditating um
Yes.
to just walking through whatever it is that I have going on in my day to just get mentally prepared. So I think that, especially with it being suicide, you said Suicide Prevention Month.
Yes,
Yeah, being Suicide Prevention Month, it is such an important topic that
it
that I'm
is. And I
so
mean,
glad you
you know,
talk about.
it's a tough subject to talk about. It's a tough, um, I can't imagine, like, I think for women, because we are so nurturing, like, if I see something wrong with you, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, girl, are you okay? What are you going through?" I think for our guys, it's so much more difficult, and I don't know the statistics as far as what that 13 is made up of, as far as statistics for men versus women, but I'm assuming it's mostly men. I don't see a lot of statistics about it being women committing suicide for it, but men are tough, and to be able to go up to a man and say, "Hey, I've noticed this about you," or "Are you okay?" We've gotta make it acceptable for our guys to talk about what they're going through. I think there's so much normality to women talking about it, even though we don't as much as we should, right? Just like menopause, like, it's a big deal now to talk about menopause. It's okay, right? Um, for me, talking about lactation and menstruation on the job site, right? That's
Yeah.
who would have thought that those 2 words would be coming out of my mouth, but it's important that we feel comfortable doing these things. We want more women on the job site, so we gotta make it comfortable for them. For men, we gotta make it where it's okay for them to talk about these things that they're going through for all of us, because there's no reason that we should lose anyone because they don't feel that they have hope. There's always hope.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Speaking of women on the job site and NAWIC, talk to us about why you're so passionate about NAWIC and what it brings to the industry here in Nashville.
It's bittersweet right now, girl, just to be honest, because I'm passing the baton soon. And so, kind of the backstory is I was looking for another networking group focused on women in construction. As you know, I love networking. That's where we met. Um, CRE 615 is an amazing organization. IFMA, BOMA, those were all great organizations. But I really wanted something that was really centered on construction and specifically women in construction. And I Googled it one day. So 6 years ago, I went to a meeting. There was, 20 women in the room. I was so happy. Like, I was like, just I just was so happy to see that many women in construction in one room, but I also thought, "Really? That's all we have in this room?" And so, I joined, I got on the membership committee. I started right away recruiting all of the women that I had already been networking with. Yes, you were
Me
one of them.
included.
You included. And, next thing I know, like, I invite you and you invited 2 women, and those 2 women brought more women. And so then I was kind of fast tracking. I became vice president, became president, and, I during the heart attack and stroke recovery, my president basically was doing everything for me while I recovered. So that was important that they gave me the space to truly heal. But, women are in construction and every level. We're talking about it more than ever. There's more women in construction than ever. Um, it's the closest pay gap in any industry that I know of. 99, like 98 cents to the dollar for what men make in any industry. Um, we're getting more and more what I like to tag. I'm gonna trademark this, so if we need to do the TM on it, I call them our mallies, our male allies.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's important
Um,
for me that as women in construction, we do have a space like NAWIC that we can openly talk about things. It is not about male bashing. It's about how can we work together. And for instance, I was talking about menstruation frustration on the job site, right? And the reason I talk about that is because I pulled up to a beautiful project we were doing called the Titan House Experience, right? It's basically where you can go see all the suites that the new stadium's gonna have. We did it for a great contractor called Polk and Associates. They were wonderful. As I walked up to the job site, one of my guys was very, very frustrated and looked like he was about to have an altercation with a site supervisor from another GC that was out there because he could not get the key for the only female porta-john out there to give to his sister who needed to go change her sanitary products, right? He was freaking out for her. She wound up going in the building using the public restroom, even though the building was still under construction. They didn't want anyone using them. She came out of there and she was confronted by this supervisor and demeaned in front of people. Her brother almost came to her aid, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have that issue anymore, but I did back in the day, and I would have to use the most disgusting bathrooms, but it wasn't even that. It was just the fact that there was no hand cleanser, no sanitizer. What do I do with my product? Because you're not supposed to put them in the porta-johns. Most people don't know that. But it really just brought to attention, like, there's a lot that we're still needing to work through. But out of that came the most respect for her brother because he recognized what she was going through. He stood up for her. He said the key should be in a central location, not handed off to the female electrician that hands it off to the female plumber that hands it off to who knows who, right?
Right.
So I do think that there's a lot that we still need to continue to improve for job sites, including lactation. We want our women on the job sites. Our women want to have babies, but they don't have a place to go properly pump and store that breast milk for whenever they do need to bring it back home, right? I had one NAWIC sister tell me a story about how she was sitting out in her car pumping because there was nothing on site for her to do it in private. And there were several men standing around her car watching her pump. So we still have a ways to go. And I think that I'm on the end of this, you know, that whole thing, like when you turn 50 and you don't give anything, right? I'm there and I almost died. I'm there. You know what I mean? And so I want to be a voice. I want to be a rational voice for people, massive general contractors to be like, we need to do this differently. Trade partners, we need to do this differently. We want more women on the job site. It's proven that we lead to safer work sites, cleaner work sites, less over budget. We are on time. And so having a woman on job sites in construction on any aspect brings something to the table that's just a little bit different. The compassion, the nurturing, the attention to detail, you know, there's just so much that we can bring. And I think that we have a long way to go, not to just talk about like women like me. I painted, but really I went into the office, right? I painted to get us going, but I went into the office. We have a major issue right now with boots on the ground. We have a major turnover rate. For every 5 tradesperson that's retiring, we're only getting 2 back in the trade. So for every mason, 5 masons that are retiring, we're only getting 2 back. In 15 years, half of the trades will be retired. Who's going to build these buildings, right?
Right. What do you think is attributing to that? Or maybe it's a few factors.
There's a few factors. One of them I'm definitely going to say is when we were pushing our kids to go to traditional colleges, we made kids feel that if you wanted to get out and be a mason or be a garbage truck driver, whatever you wanted to be, that was not good enough. And I think it comes from a long line of kids that come from entrepreneurs sometimes, from those trade partners. I live in Coopertown, and we're in Robertson County, which used to be one of the largest tobacco producers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're talking 5 and 6 generations of tobacco farmers, and those guys are telling their children, I don't want you to be a tobacco farmer, right? I want you to go to college. I want you to go off and do something else. But at the same time, we still need tobacco farmers. Who's going to do that? We still need painters. We still need plumbers. We still need all of that. And so I think for a long time, we were pushing kids towards traditional school and almost embarrassing them to want to go out and work with their hands. Now it's reversing. Parents are like, wait a second, you can go to a trade school and not have any debt, and you can walk into an $85,000 job as a welder. Hello. Let me talk to you about that. Just like the people that used to discourage me from going into the military.
Yeah.
Why do you want to die for your country? Why are you going to go into war? As a Marine back then, we didn't do that anyway. Women were not allowed to go into those kind of situations. A lot has changed, but I would have been willing to do it. I signed up after not 9/11, Desert Storm. I signed up during that time frame. And so, a lot has changed even in the military, a lot has changed in construction. We still have a long way to go, and I think it's just about having the conversations.
All right, Tiff. So I have some lightning round fun for you.
Let's go.
Morning routine staple. Do you have one?
It's my it is my shake that I drink every morning while I'm reading it's a 5-minute women's devotional. Um, I do that every single morning, 7 o'clock. So my new routine is I get up at 5:30, 3 times a week. I go to the Y, I work out, I come home. But basically, no matter what, by 7 o'clock, I'm doing my devotion and I'm drinking my Premier Cafe um, protein shake
Love
and my
it.
devotional. That's mandatory. Sets
There
the
you
whole
go.
day. Sets the whole day.
So next, Nashville favorite live music spot.
Oh my gosh, I'm addicted to Brooklyn Bowl right now.
Who have you seen at Brooklyn Bowl?
Well, I just saw the Red Knot Chili Peppers on Friday night,
Okay.
and I've seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers a few times, and these guys rocked it. I love them. We also saw a couple weeks ago the Vagabonds. But what I love about Brooklyn Bowl is bowling. I love bowling. I love live music. What's really cool is they've got this outside deck area for free. You can go stand on and watch the Sounds game. So Friday night we were there for the concert. We went outside. I have a few friends that are smokers, cigarette smokers, and they wanted to have a cigarette. And literally, as we all went outside to just chill out for a minute, the fireworks show went off.
Oh, how cool is that?
It was amazing, and I'm a firework freak, I love fireworks, so it was just a really cool moment. So Brooklyn Bowl is killer,
Okay.
and next door to it is Tailgate Brewery, which has the best pizzas
Oh,
and
yeah.
a limoncello spritz. Chef's kiss.
Ooh. No, I
Very
haven't
good.
had their limoncello spritz there, so I'll have to
Yeah,
try that with the pizza. It's phenomenal.
it is.
So, quick advice you always give young professionals.
I always tell young professionals to make sure that wherever they're meeting someone, whatever networking group, if you're getting their business card, which I know we're doing a lot of stuff digital now, make sure you write down where you met them. As you and I have frequently had many weeks where we've gone to 3 or 4 networking events. And on Friday, I'm shuffling through all these cards because it is unrealistic to every time you're done with a networking event to go right home, make your post, send your emails. I don't know about you, but at this age, I'm so drained when I'm done networking emotionally, physically. I'm done. So a lot of times I wait till Friday to do all my catch up for my networking stuff. But it would surprise you on Friday who I forgot by that time that I met them at, right?
It would
So
not surprise me because I'm the same way. It
right?
would surprise other people maybe.
So, it's a little key. Write down if you got their card, what event. If not, send yourself a message, even if it's just Angela CRE 615. At least you'd have that. And the second thing I do a lot lately, and this is one of my saving grace things, is pick one place, try to book all day. So I love to pick Pinewood Social or Panera Bread or Dark Ponds. I start there with coffee, lunch, coffee, happy hour. And it's one day where you're sitting one day with your laptop, focused on having meetings. Your clients will come to you. They will go wherever you want it. And especially if you can get out of downtown. So I'm over by the airport. So I love Darfans. I love Panera Bread. There's a really cool bakery. I can't remember the name of it right now. Sunflower, I think is what it is. Really cool bakery. but where you can just sit and work in between those meetings and knock out your stuff you need to, but that you're not driving all around trying to meet 5 people in a day.
I
That's for
actually,
free, everybody. I won't
you
charge you.
gave, you actually gave me that advice before because I was like, I'm just trying to manage running around to all these meetings. And it was one of those moments where I was like, mind blown. Thank you,
You're
Tiffany.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. So here's a good one. What's one thing that people will be surprised to learn about you outside of being a Marine, a business leader, and a mom?
Outside of almost dying, outside of being a Marine, outside of
Mhm.
all these things, right? Um, Probably, I don't know, maybe 2 things. I'm a huge animal saver. Like, I have saved so many animals in my lifetime. Um, the weirdest one was I was in North Carolina, young Marine. I lived on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex, and I'm like Jacksonville, North Carolina. I walk up to my door, and there was a frickin' brown pelican standing outside of my door. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And so come to find out, he was sick. I put him in my tub. I mean, this is 1992. This is you can't Google something, you can't, like, just like, that's
Oh,
not
yeah.
how it worked, right? And so I wound up finding, a wildlife place, took him to it. He had some kind of disease, they got him all better, and he was released back into captivity, and there was a massive article written about me, um, from the Marines, newsletter thing we had about that. Um, and the second
Oh,
thing is I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane one time, so I did skydive.
I was going to say, is that a skydiving situation?
Yes,
Do
yes.
we have video and pictures of this?
So, that is one of my goals. We're talking 1994 with a video recorder as the guy, like, jumps out the plane, there's one recording you and you're attached to someone, and my song was was it Danger Zone from
Oh,
Footloose?
yeah.
So, my goal is to find that video. We're in the process of getting ready for a massive yard sale, so I'm going through everything, girl. I am purging, downsizing, because that's another thing as you get older, you just don't want stuff everywhere, right? But
Right.
it is on my to-do list to find that VHS and get it switched to digital and show everybody.
I feel like, Tiffany, once you find that, you come back on the podcast and we're going to share it with everybody.
I love it. I love it. I feel like there's so much more we could talk about. There's never enough time.
Absolutely. Two more questions for you before we
Yeah.
wrap up. First part of it, what is the best piece of advice you've ever received? Second part is, what is the worst piece of advice you've ever
Oh,
received?
man. They're
That's
actually
a
kind
hard
of
one.
it is, but, I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching some TikTok and it was, a lady that I really love to follow, and she was talking about that too. And the irony is the best advice I ever got was also the worst advice. Ready? So,
Ooh.
yeah, I believe in always being your authentic self. People people are gonna love you or hate you. I have purple hair, I'm tattooed, I'm kind of outspoken. Um, but I was pretty much told by somebody that I needed to blend in more, that I needed to be, you know, what's the expression? Know your crowd, right?
Right.
Blend in, become a part of the crowd, you'll get more business, you'll do this and you'll do that. Um, I feel that that's the worst advice I had been given, because the best advice I had been given was by someone I really do respect. And he had told me to always be your authentic self because people are going to see through you, but we're really chameleons, right? A chameleon is a chameleon. If it's on a red leaf, it still turns red. If it's on a brown leaf, it turns brown, but it's still a chameleon, right? So,
Mhm.
obviously, if I'm talking to a veteran group versus if I'm talking to the Girl Scouts, I need to tone my language a little bit, right? But I'm still
Right.
gonna be me. I'm always gonna be me because people will see through that. And so to be your authentic self is very important. Just don't be an asshole. Like that's the biggest thing, right? Just don't be an ass.
Oh. I
Love
agree with that.
everybody, be fair, be your authentic self. So I do believe that whenever I'm talking to people, you're gonna get who I am no matter what. But obviously, if I'm talking to veterans, I can talk one way. If I'm talking to Girl Scouts, a little bit different. My women in construction, my guys, and you do need to know your audience, but don't shift who you are to just be to fit into that audience.
It's interesting. I was asked the same question on a recent radio interview I did, and I gave a similar answer, just different verbiage, but
Yes,
really learning to embrace and truly live my life
yes,
as my authentic self um has been it's been life changing because I spent many years of my life being what Taylor
yes.
Swift would call a pathological people pleaser. And
A
when
lot of
I finally started to heal and realize who I was at my core and realize that if I show up authentic in this world,
yes,
then that's all I need to do. There's
yes,
going to be people, I don't need everybody to like me. There's going to be
right,
people that like me. There's going to
right.
be people that hate me. They may not even know me, not have a reason, and that's okay.
Yes,
That's their choice. But if I don't show up authentically, then I'm compromising myself.
yes, that is first and foremost, yep. I
And
think we
so
make enough compromises in life as it is, right? So,
I
to know
100%.
what you're willing to compromise and not is very important, and I do believe a lot of it has to do with maturity as we get older. I mean, like I said, like, I'm 52 now, I don't have a lot of Fs to give. I don't know that I really have ever anyway, I've always been just who I am, but, I do believe that there's just a shift. There's a shift in what you're where do you wanna spend your time? Who do you wanna spend your time with? Where do you wanna spend it? I think there's a shift in maybe the countdown to immortality. Maybe, when you're 50, you've lived 66% of your life.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
staggering.
man.
That's staggering.
It is, it is.
So maybe that's why when you get to that age, it's kinda like, I there's just no more Fs to give because I've done everything that I think I wanted to do. I've seen the things, and now everything else from now is just a blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say that, a part of that people pleasing was really, also worrying about what people thought.
Yeah.
"Oh, what are they saying about me?
Yeah.
Why do they hate me? I need them to not hate me." And it's so freeing to not feel that way anymore
Yes.
because
It's
it doesn't
freeing.
matter what anybody
Mhm.
else says, right?
Yes.
That doesn't define who I am. But what matters is that I'm checking myself daily that if I need to stop and learn a lesson, then I learn that lesson and I implement whatever needs to be implemented in my life to avoid making that choice or mistake again,
Yes.
right? And just truly growing and trying to authentically be a good person in the world.
Yes. Well, I think we've done counseling, we're in counseling, we read, the Bible, we read devotions, we read motivations, we watch the things that are supposed to help us do these things. But I truly believe in the long run, it is such a mindset. It's you doing what you've done, which is decided to, I'm going to be who I am. And this is who I've been, but you've quit worrying so much about that. And so I've got a friend, the joke is she worries about what to worry about. Right.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
Oh
so I'm
no.
I'm really working with her. But I think at the end of the day that whenever you um can say, "I'm showing up who I am, this is me." It is the most freeing thing, and then I think what that does to you mentally, physically, emotionally, it literally just lets you walk into a room, and you own that room because nobody owns you. You are free, you can be who you wanna be, and, um, I mean, I'm about to turn over the largest chapter in the world to this young woman that I just adore. Her name's Brittany Buck. Um, She's a boots on the ground, and I just adore her, and it's scary, like, is she gonna have the passion for doing what I've done to this chapter to take NAWIC to where it is? I mean, when I was in IFMA, I wanted it to be the biggest IFMA ever. When I was in BOMA, I wanted it to be the biggest BOMA chapter ever. Um, that was just because I wanted just the clout. For NAWIC, it's different. I want the big numbers because I want every woman in construction to be their authentic self and to get to truly find happiness in what they love and their passion. And to be in construction, I love it. I mean, I drive by buildings every day in Nashville that we've painted, and I'm like, I've been a part of that. I sit and eat at some dive bars that we've painted all the way up to the fanciest restaurants like Harper's, and I'm sitting there eating these meals, and I'm like, I made this vision and this reality that we're sitting in come to life. Our company did. And so you're not going to make everybody happy. That's the one thing I keep telling Britt is it's going to be okay to have people upset with you because maybe that means you're doing your job. If people are upset with you, maybe they're pushing back because you're pushing forward. So I love where you're at. I'd love to see where you have gone as far as your mental trek, your emotional trek, your physical, to see you on billboards everywhere and to see that they love you for who you are and you're letting other people see that we don't just fit in this box. We are who we are. We're all different. And I love that message that you're sending.
Thank you, Tiffany. I was cracking up with somebody the other day. They were like, "Wait, okay, so you're in finance in fintech and run a company in that, but you're also walking in New York Fashion Week and on billboards?" And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like we can be multifaceted. Why not?
Why not? It's exactly
Why not?"
right. It's
It was a dream of mine when I was a teenager and a small child, and things happen, you grow up and other things become priorities. And so I feel like it's a full circle moment for me
yes.
in my life because at the age of 45, I'm I've walked in New York Fashion Week. I'm walking New York Fashion Week next week. I'm on billboards. All those
Yeah.
things that I dreamed of as a child, they're coming to fruition. And I like to say a dream delayed is not a dream denied.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. I love that so much. I really do.
So, Tiffany, for our listeners, if they want to connect with you on any kind of platform or website, can you tell them where they could go to do that?
I love LinkedIn. I think it's a great business platform. Tiffany Wondrow, Wondrow. But I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Insta. Same thing. I love that. If anybody wants to follow me, give me a shout out. Um, and then, of course, if anybody would love to connect further as far as wanting mentoring or to know more about my story, I am writing a book. I have a ghostwriter. I'm right now writing down for 6 months everything I can remember from my childhood. I do have a lot of trauma. I come from a lot of things, as you know, but I'm healed from it. But I do think it's still part of a story, and so I'm writing a book. But if anyone would love just mentoring, or right now, like I met with a competitor painting company from another state a while back to help him through some issues he's having. I meet with a lot of women, to help them like I think I feel like I did with you. I just listened and I was there for you, and I called you out on some things. I held your feet to the
Okay.
fire on some things, but
Yeah.
mostly I was there to support you while you went through it. And so, my email is Tiffany, Tiffany at CANDR servicesinc.com. I love connecting to people.
Tiffany, thank you so much for taking time to come on today and share about your journey and your story and just, different aspects of your journey and where you're going. We appreciate that so much, your
Thank you.
vulnerability and being able to do that. So
Thank you. Your TV behind you said your time is up. It's
I
time to
know
end
you
this show.
distracted me, and so here I am stumped at what I was going to say next. This is us being our authentic self.
This
By
is
the
it.
way,
My
listeners, this is Tiffany and I. Seriously, thank you to everybody
Yes.
that's tuning in to listen. Reach out to Tiffany, reach out to me. And yeah, we'll see you next episode.
Awesome. I can't wait for the next one.
Thank you for listening to Fierce Frequency with me, Angela Cherry. If today's episode inspired you, don't forget to follow the show and share it with someone who needs that spark. Until next time, stay bold, stay powerful, and stay fierce. And remember, you don't need permission to evolve, just a fierce decision to begin.